with an example. The first one is static. By default, the positioning element is static. Okay, so that is whatever the position you are going to specify, accordingly the elements are displayed. So it is in the form of normal flow. So the second one is relative. Okay, so relative, so it indicates from its position, so you can just move the element to a specified position. So normally the position you are going to specify using top, bottom, left, right. Okay, so you will be just specifying to move the element using these properties. So in case of relative, you need to remember the two observations. One is the element is going to move. If this is the position of the element, consider I have 3 boxes here. So here, if I specify the position of this particular box, that is to move to bottom. Okay, so I need to specify the value. So that is in the property, CSS property, I will specify bottom 20 pixels. Okay, in this case, it is going to move this element. Okay, this box is moved 20 pixels from its position. Okay, so 20 pixels from its position, it is going to move the element. Okay, so that is relative positioning. And also whatever the gap it is created, it will be left like that only. It is not going to change. It will be moved from the normal flow, and the position or the space, whatever the gap it is left out, it will be left as it is. It is not going to occupy by any other element. Okay, that is about the relative. So next we have discussed about the absolute. So absolute indicates it is going to move the element from its container element or the parent element. Okay, in case if I put a container here for all the boxes, or if I don't have a container, then it will go to the browser. Okay, it will take the measurement in terms of the browser, the beginning of the browser. Okay, so consider, I'll just explain without container. So if I tell move to left, okay, if I give left 30 pixel, so what happens is, in case of absolute, so it is going to consider from the browser part. Okay, so by default the parent is the body part. Okay, so from there it is going to move this particular element 30 pixel. Okay, so wherever it comes 30 pixel, so there this particular element is moved. Okay, and also whatever the space it is going to leave, okay, when you are moving the element to some other position, so whatever the space it is going to create, so it is going to occupy by the other element. Okay, the gap is going to be removed from the normal flow. That is in case of absolute. Okay, so that is the two differences you need to remember. So here the gap is not going to be filled. Okay, it will be left as it is, like a normal flow. In case of absolute, the gap is going to be removed from the other elements. Once you move, so this space, whatever it is, the gap it is generated, it is occupied by the other elements. So that is the main difference you need to remember with respect to relative and absolute. So when you are trying with respect to these positions, okay, you have to work with these directions. Okay, that is, normally you will specify top, okay, bottom, and this is a left, and this is right. Okay, if this is my container, in case if you are making this as absolute relative, and if you are trying to move the element using absolute, so it will consider from this location, from this container. Okay, if you don't have any parent element, then body is the parent element. So now you need to check with these different types of positioning using these properties. Okay, normally either you can make it to the plus value or minus value. In case if it is plus, okay, it is going within the box. Okay, it will move within the box. In case if you give negative value, okay, bottom minus 26, that is outside the box, it will be represented as negative. Okay, left, so negative. If you want to go out of this box container, so then you have to specify the negative value. I will just show it later. Okay, and this is negative and this is positive. If you want to move towards within the container, so you will be giving the a positive value. So this is also positive, this is also positive, and if you are going outside, it becomes negative. You have to give the negative value, minus 36, minus left. If I have given the property left minus 30 pixels means, so if I have an element, it is going towards this side, okay, towards this side. Even sometimes if you are specifying the higher value here with negative, so sometimes it will go out of the browser. Okay, so based on these properties, you can just make align the elements. Is that is clear? The methods are clear, so that I will go to the coding part. Okay, I think I have two more. Let me complete that also. So fixed, when I specify positioning, position is fixed. Okay, so what exactly happens with respect to position is, it is going to fix to a particular location. Okay, it is going to fix to a particular location. So what is that location? So that is with respect to a browser window, or browser window we also called viewport. Okay, maybe in the textbook you can just observe we have a keyword called viewport. It is nothing but the browser window. Browser window. So now where you want to fix this particular element. Okay, if I want to fix this particular block in this position only. Okay, so whatever content I add, even if I scroll, it should be locating in the same place. Okay, so that is about the fixed positioning. So next we have sticky. Okay, so this is the latest property added in the HTML. So that is in the CSS. It behaves like a relative. Okay, so as long as the content is moved, okay, and after that it is going to stick onto that particular position. So that means I can just give example. If you have some menu bar, okay, in your browser, so if you keep on scrolling, okay, so this also along with that it will move till it reaches the top of the window. Okay, once it reaches the top of the window, then if you scroll also, you can view this whatever the menu you're going to create, it will be stick onto this particular location. Okay, so that is normally you will use it for designing the navigation, hyperlinks, okay, or any other information. And sticky or fixed, you can just use it for like normally in the browser we'll have contact us, or you will be getting this chat box, okay, at the corner, bottom corner, chat with us, something you will get. Okay, so you can just put this particular window or the box at this particular location. So using fixed, so where you need to specify bottom 0 pixel. Okay, so then it will be stick onto this, even whatever you do scrolling, it will be here only. So we'll just try to understand these. Yesterday I shown some of the coding, so let me just continue that part. I want some Java, why it is coming here, JavaScript. So in this codepen.io, okay, so it does not require us to write all that HTML code from the beginning. So directly you can write whatever the heading you want, you can put. So here try to give the attributes for division, that is class, okay, so class is equal to, I will give box, class name is box. I'm not still comfortable with this editor. ID. I will give item. Okay, why I am using both class and also ID? Because sometimes I can apply the CSS properties commonly for all the elements using one attribute. Okay, I will use box. If I want to add a particular styling only for that particular set of elements, so in that case I will be using the ID. Okay, ID name I will give a different. Similarly, just create for. So here you change. So this is done, but you are not able to see anything because I have not given any border, anything. So if you want, you can just start with the heading. So parallelly, you can see the output. So that is one advantage of this editor. That's all. Otherwise, if I use Sublime, every time I have to just save it and go back, and I need to check it. So we'll just try to add the properties for these elements. Okay. So parallelly, you can just observe. Okay, I will just apply the border for each of these elements. So go with the dot box, whatever the name you have given. Here I can go with one more division tag that will be acting as a container. Okay, let me just show you that later. So display. So yesterday I told, otherwise I will go first with the border so that I can differentiate what is the advantage of display property over there. So border 2px. So here it is, I am applying for everything, for all the items. Then border is done. Width, always try to give the width so that you can see it look like a box. So width I will go with 150, height 150. Okay, so still you can see all the boxes are coming in the same, like one by one in the form of normal flow. Okay, let me just give margin. Okay, so it is overlapped. I need to change. So height is not changing. Why? Yes, spelling mistake. Okay, so you can just see I got a box. So now within this box I am going to create two more elements with the division tag. Okay, you can just observe this is the main tag. For that I am applied the design. Okay, so now we'll just discuss with respect to CSS positioning using these three boxes. So now for that I need to give the separate style for each of the element. So let me just go with the ID selector. So you already know how to use the ID selector. So you can just use ID selector hash. I have given item. You need to specify these values within the or else you can just change the class name. That's also fine. Only thing is when you want to apply unique style for each of the element, then you need the separate values. So first I will go with item 1. So Write the CSS code for this. Fix the width of that item. So I will go with 250 pixel. So do the border, because now after giving height and width still it is not showing because I have not specified the border. Specify the border with 5 pixels, solid. By default it is taking black. I can give different color also. So I will go with the red. Already back outside one is red only. You can just go with the some other color, blue. Okay. So here I cannot put all the elements. Let me just reduce this size of box. Okay. So now like this you just write the style for the remaining 3 elements. To differentiate, change the name. Can you see? So it is taking same color and also same location. So here what you can do is, we have one more property called display inline. I will just go with that property. Display, yesterday I was explaining display. Inline block. So position you need to adjust here.